Hello and welcome to the presentation video of the Proactive Streaming Analytics at Scale tutorial presented at CIKEM 2023. As the title suggests, in this tutorial we are going to expose our journey from acquiring deep knowledge about the relevant state of the art to adapting and extending it so that it can be incorporated in a production platform. Analyzing each part of the title, we first elaborate on streaming analytics. In streaming analytics, we have unbounded streams of data that arrive at high speed, and we also have arbitrarily complex streaming workflows that are executed continuously and provide real-time online answers to application queries. We are going to use two use case scenarios and corresponding workflows. The first one intends to extract correlations among stock streams with the goal of pinpointing highly correlated pairs and groups of stocks. Such scenarios are common in diversified portfolio applications, where the investors want to fuse the risk by investing on correlated stocks and groups of them. Our second use case comes from the maritime domain, where we want to continuously pinpoint illegal activities at sea. In such a scenario, we want to be continuously aware of vessel activities such as AI radio on or off events, illegal fishing activities, smuggling, or piracy events. In both scenarios, data rapidly arrive at high volumes and velocities. The usual practice in delivering streaming analytics at scale is to parallelize the processing by distributing the stream load in various machines and processing units in a computer cluster, therefore increasing the throughput, the number of streaming tuples that are processed per time unit, and reducing the processing latency. In that, the real-time continuously updated answers from the running workflows are facilitated. Prominent platforms such as Apache Flink and Apache Spark support stream processing using this parallelization procedure. However, in our motivating scenarios, we need to operate beyond the usual paradigm of having a single cluster or cloud available. In both the motivating scenarios, we actually have a setting of network clusters. In the financial scenario, stock streams arrive at a number of local data centers before being able to get ingested in global workflows that seek for broader stock correlations. In the maritime domain, position streams of thousands of vessels are first gathered in clusters that are close to coastal AIS receivers. Satellite images are also used. Other data sources, such as acoustic signals from unmanned sea robots, are also involved in the data collection process. These are gathered in nearby clusters over which we want to perform global streaming analytics. And each cluster or cloud may host one or more big data platforms. So we want to perform arbitrarily complex streaming workflows over rapidly evolving streaming data over a network setting with heterogeneous characteristics and big data technologies. And this setting is applicable beyond the examined use cases. In cases of consortia and coalitions of organizations, each having their own clusters and big data platforms worldwide. In case of a company acquiring other companies, therefore inheriting computer clusters and big data infrastructures. As well as in case of multiple cloud providers supporting diverse big data technologies that can be used by a single organization to optimize cost and performance simultaneously. Moreover, we want our streaming analytics to be proactive. For instance, in the diversified portfolio scenario shown in the slide, instead of simply detecting the presented stock correlations, we want to be able to forecast future stock correlations based on those that have appeared in the past. Forecasting is important so that we have enough time to act proactively and properly identify investment opportunities and risks before they occur. Similarly, in the maritime use case, we may have a series of incidents that involve smuggling. Two vessels switch off their AIS transmitters and they approach in the middle of the ocean. They may exchange part of their cargo and then separate again. Authorities want, instead of simply pinpointing those events, to be able to forecast them and act proactively on the scene. In order to achieve all that, we argue that we need three essential technologies. Stream summarization for achieving various types of required scalability and performance in the examined setups, complex event forecasting for being able to act timely and proactively, and cross-platform intercluster optimization for proper resource allocation of our streaming analytics workflows across that heterogeneous network setting we operate. Starting from the stream synopsis, samples, sketches, wavelets, and histograms provide approximate answers with tunable accuracy guarantees to popular application queries involving cardinality, frequency moment, correlation, quantile estimation, among others. Stream synopsis can provide three types of scalability in our streaming analytics workflows: enhanced horizontal scalability, scaling the computation further besides parallelization, with the volume and velocity of incoming data streams due to reducing the load to be processed. Federated scalability, scaling the computation with the size of the network over which global streaming analytics are executed, because we communicate compact data summaries instead of the original streams, and therefore communication costs and network latencies are reduced. Vertical scalability, scaling the computation with a number of process streams. For instance, for pinpointed stock correlation without synopsis, we would need to examine a number of pairs that is exponential to the number of stock streams. Using stream synopsis, we can drastically reduce the number, as we explain in this tutorial. However, existing big data platforms such as Apache Flink or Spark that support stream processing do not provide any native API dedicated to stream summarization. The state-of-the-art highlighted in this slide includes a number of synopsys libraries that are rich in the number of supported synopsys, but are mostly detached from stream processing and parallelization aspects. Moreover, there are a number of prominent works that concentrate on delivering stream synopsys over big streaming data platforms, therefore accounting for parallelization, but do not target all three required types of scalability we elaborated on. The unhighlighted parts in the tables, in this one and the ones that follow, show what we did and what we are going to elaborate on in the second part of the presentation. This involves the unhighlighted parts. With respect to the state-of-the-art on forecasting technologies, first we need to point out that popular big data platforms that provide machine learning APIs for prediction and forecasting purposes, such as MLlib in Apache Spark and FlinkML in Apache Flink, focus on batch instead of stream processing. In addition, Flink provides FlinkSep, which is a native API for complex event detection and processing, but not for forecasting. There exist frameworks such as Apache Samoa that provide streaming machine learning algorithms where we write our code once and it remains deployable to a variety of platforms. However, for our proactive analytics, we need more than online machine learning algorithms. These algorithms can predict the labels of the input in the system we aim to build, but do not forecast complex events. For instance, on the slide, you see a pattern that corresponds to a fishing pattern from the maritime use case scenario. This pattern says that under temporal and spatial constraints, if a vessel slows down, performs a number of turns, and then keeps moving at slow speed, this is considered as a series of simple events that altogether match the pattern of a complex fishing event. And depending on the area of where this fishing happens, the complex event may involve illegal fishing activity. Now, simply using online machine learning may help us in extracting such rules, such patterns of interest, or may help us in labeling the tuples that are input to such a system, as you see on the left of the slide, but neither help us in detecting nor forecasting the pattern itself. The state-of-the-art in complex event forecasting is the Weyerhaeuser engine, which operates in three levels. A machine learning level where prediction suffix trees are trained and used in order to predict transition probabilities among the states of an automaton. In principle, other machine or deep learning techniques may be applicable here. The automaton level, where each state is an event involved in the pattern of interest, and the automaton together with the assigned probabilities leads to the third level of constructing the desired forecasts. However, this engine is in principle not sufficiently scalable as is because it does not support parallel processing of streaming events and pattern forecasting. Parallel pattern forecasting in particular. As regards intra and intercluster optimization, with respect to optimization of workflows over the targeted setting, what we need to examine is the available techniques for transforming logical workflows given by the application that are totally oblivious to the underlying setting and transformed into a physical workflow, where for each involved operator, the network, cluster, and the big data platform which will be used are prescribed. In this particular example, we have three clusters, a green, a black, and a red cluster, each hosting various big data technologies, and you can see an exemplary physical workflow. However, the number of possible combinations for various clusters and big data platforms is high, and we need to optimize the physical workflow selection to choose the most preferable physical workflow performance-wise. Therefore, the problem at hand entails to seek Pareto optimal solutions across a number of performance criteria involving throughput, network and processing latency, communicated bytes, and so on. And usually these are synthesized in a way, for instance, the overall cost is computed as a weighted combination of individual performance criteria. Moreover, performance constraints may be applicable here in individual performance dimensions. What actually exists in the literature is a number of systems and frameworks that aim at cross-platform but not simultaneously intercluster optimization. In other words, existing frameworks seek for usually Pareto optimal solutions across a number of platforms without examining geo-dispersed network settings. Moreover, prominent and well-established prior systems and frameworks highlighted in the slide may support a single stream processing platform but neither aim at multiple streaming platforms nor clusters. Few examine scalable parallel machine learning algorithms even in the batch processing context, and none supports complex event forecasting entries and stream summaries. Additionally, since streaming workflows are running for protracted periods of time, optimization needs to be performed again and again, and the running workflows need to perform runtime adaptation without losing their state information up to that point of the allocated clusters and platforms so as to maintain high performance not only at the beginning of the workflow execution, but also in the long run. Under these assumptions and under these conditions, the general optimization process in prior art in an abstract level goes like this. There is a logical workflow given as input to an optimization algorithm. A cost formula or machine learning model is used for predicting the performance of the various optimization choices, and the optimizer examines a number of what-if scenarios per operator first and for combinations of operators afterwards. For instance, the optimizer may ask, what if I place this operator, a filter stream operator, in Apache Spark? Or what if I assign it for execution in Apache Flink? And having done that for upstream operators, the algorithms proceed downstream. What if I assign for execution the join stream operator in Spark, having assigned the filter stream operator in Spark as well? Or what if I choose Flink for the join stream operators, and so on? So the algorithms that have been proposed in prior art differ in the number of what-if scenario they examine, and therefore differ in the optimization algorithm execution time itself. As regards the optimization algorithms that have been proposed, the obvious choice is an exhaustive search algorithm, which examines every possible combination of platform assignment per operator and combinations of operators. Such an algorithm has exponential complexity to the number of operators in the available platforms, but has also a low memory utilization because during its execution, it keeps the best plan so far. Another type of algorithm would examine for every operator in the workflow only the Pareto optimal solution of its upstream operators, reducing the computational complexity and retaining optimality under certain circumstances. This is a dynamic programming approach. This also increases memory utilization due to maintaining in memory sets of candidate physical plans that are partial up to the level of the workflow the algorithm has examined so far. Moreover, there has been evolutionary search algorithms that have been proposed, which begin from the beginning of a topologically sorted workflow, examine every potential platform assignments, sample candidate plans of high performance, and then combine these partial plans to maintain a best candidate set to be examined further downstream in the topologically sorted workflow. Finally, there have been lossless heuristic search algorithms that examine a lattice of possible partial and finally complete physical plans using a machine learning model for performance prediction and for pruning candidate plans that are not among the best candidates examined so far in each level of the lattice. So to sum up, prior art provides no native API for stream synopsis targeting all the three types of discussed scalability. There is no scalable parallel complex event forecasting API. There is no technique for multi-cluster and cross-platform support for streaming workflows. And furthermore, each of the systems that concentrate on batch processing introduce their own language or require programming, which is daunting from an application viewpoint. Therefore, our goal was to fill these gaps and furthermore deploy the resulted system that we develop in a commercial platform with a vast user base so that we ensure maximize adoptance. So what we did, first of all, we developed our own Synopsys data engine following a Synopsys as a service paradigm. We implement a Synopsys as a service paradigm in Apache Flink, and we treat our Synopsys data engine as the analog of a database for stream processing. So our Synopsys data engine is a constantly running job in one or more clusters. It communicates with the outside world using JSON-formatted Kafka messages. It receives updates, and it can be programmed regarding the synopsis that we are going to maintain and for querying the various maintained synopses. The architecture that we will illustrate is not a simple library. It is a service, and it supports all the three types of required scalability. Furthermore, due to the fact that it communicates with the outside world via Kafka, it is also usable in cases of cross-platform scenarios where various operators, even implemented in different big data platforms, can communicate with the Synopsys data engine via Kafka messages. This is the architecture. This is a condensed view. Each of the operations of the slide is executed in multiple parallel instances of Flink transformations. When a streaming update arrives, it is ingested at the data topic of Kafka, and it follows the blue path. The hash data flat map looks up the keys of workers handling the involved synopsis and directs the update to the proper workers. There, the add flat map includes the update in the maintained synopsis. For instance, in case we maintain an FM sketch or a Bloom filter, the add operation hashes the incoming tuple to a portion of the maintained bitmap and turns the corresponding bit to 1 if it is not already set. Upon a query, the register request flat map looks up the keys of workers for the queried synopsis and directs the query there, where the estimate flat map is executed, reading the status of the synopsis from the add flat map and receiving the estimation. The rest of the operators on the right-hand side of the architecture are used for appropriately controlling the output. When a synopsis is maintained by a single worker, by multiple workers in the same cluster, and across workers across clusters. Regarding distributed complex event forecasting architecture, we adapt WAEB in two ways. First of all, we apply in Flink pattern-based parallelization, where we distribute the load of WAEB running parallel instances of it. Each instance has its own training and Ceph process, and queries are executed in parallel by incorporating the functionality of the WAEB Ceph engine in terms of Flink Ceph operators. And we also apply key-based parallelization, where training and forecasting is performed on par, These are in both cases continuously and parallel training and forecasting procedures. And here, instead of distributing the queries, we distribute the data that are involved in each query. So you have various data being directed to the relevant training procedures of WAEB, and you also have incoming events that are getting forecasting by the automation module of the engine. And this happens in a distributed way implemented on top of Apache Flink. Furthermore, for properly configuring the complex event forecasting engine of WAEB, we introduce a Bayesian optimization-based optimizer. Regarding our optimization technology that we developed, first of all, from related to work, we have certain differences. Here we have multiple clusters instead of one, and each cluster may have various big data platforms. Therefore, the combinatorial space explodes. Communication cost is involved due to the fact that we have a network setting of clusters. Furthermore, we have network besides processing latency. Cost estimation needs to involve lightweight models and procedures. And furthermore, cost models need to be maintained incrementally because in streaming settings, only the recent history of workflows execution logs matters. Third, but a major difference is that adaptivity is a first-class citizen here. The workflows are running for protracted periods of times. The data distributions and the workloads in the various clusters are highly volatile, and therefore we need to adapt our running workflows again and again regarding the cluster choices and the big data platform choices. From related to work, we choose to maintain and adapt exhaustive search and dynamic programming algorithms. These are adapted for multi-cluster and cross-platform setups, and we also account for various parallelization degrees per operator. And furthermore, the algorithms are adapted for adaptation purposes. We introduce a novel A-star-alike search algorithm, which is lossless in terms of the optimal solution that it provides. It is faster and lossless in terms of the optimal solution that it provides. Here we know that the standard A-star algorithm is not applicable in our setting because it is designed to provide an optimal path. This is not what we want here. Instead of that, we want an optimal graph, since our workflows are essentially directed acyclic graphs. This is what we wanted, what we are going to discuss during the tutorial. We introduce a heuristic search algorithm that incorporates plausible observation in order to reduce the search space. For instance, it takes into account that nearby clusters can have the least network latency, because clusters that are farther and based on the latency of their network links are more highly latent, are more highly probable to exhibit higher latency compared to nearby clusters. And this criterion is also applicable for communication costs and throughputs. We introduce greedy variants, where we choose to keep Pareto optimal solutions per operator or a single Pareto optimal solution per operator. And furthermore, in order to perform adaptation, we have, in our case, 3 costs that are involved instead of 1. We have the cost of the currently running plan, which we call the root plan. We have the cost of a candidate plan, a plan that is candidate to replace the running one. And we have a migration cost, which is the cost of saving the state, possible downtime during adaptation, and for restarting the new workflow under the new physical execution plan. So what we do is we find the common part among the root and each candidate plan. We compute their differences, and we compute the migration cost based on that graph difference between the physical workflows, the root and the candidates. After the optimization algorithm concludes, we have developed an infrastructure that submits the various jobs in the cluster that the optimizer has selected, in the cluster and big data platform that the optimizer has selected. The workflow gets running. We collect statistics incrementally, and we train cost models in order to maintain highly accurate predictions in our algorithms. And when we observe performance degradation, runtime adaptation decisions are made. In the last part of the tutorial, we are going to provide a hands-on experience and showcase how we implemented this functionality on top of a commercial platform, RapidMiner Studio. This is RapidMiner Studio Canvas. We can drag and drop operators on this canvas and connect them in order to define the data flow. We have stream transformation operators that are provided by various big data platforms. This is how the operator regarding the Synopsys data engine looks, and we can also see a toy tutorial process here. This is the operator that involves the complex event forecasting component, with also a toy workflow available as a tutorial process. This is the streaming optimization operator, the idea of which is that you provide the available clusters and big data platforms here. You double-click in this, and you can design the logical workflow. Applying the optimization process, the optimized physical workflow will be available over here, and you can see that we also provide various algorithms as options. Now, during the tutorial, Besides the slide experience, showcasing the general architecture, we are going to showcase how our techniques apply in our running example and use cases, the stock market use case and the maritime use case. We are going to discuss open issues that synthetically in isolation and also synthetically expose future research opportunities. And that will be all. Thank you for your attention. There is a link to the website of the tutorial where you can find additional materials, the videos, and also open source code that involves the implementation of the technologies discussed in this tutorial. Thank you.